Hello, I'm Janine Seitetsu, one of the senior Dharma teachers of the Empty Boon Zen Sanghas, resident priest of the Bright Cloud Zen practice groups in Seattle and Woodinville, Washington. Our guiding teacher, James Myoun Ford, has inspired me with his series of talks offering Zen in 5 minutes. So I'm taking up his challenge to do the same. I'll start with my own take on what is Zen. The question reminds me of a Talmudic tale of the wise Rabbi Hillel, who was challenged by a Gentile to teach him the entire Torah, while he, the petitioner, stood on one foot. Rabbi Hillel agreed and gave him this response: "What is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. That is the whole of the Torah. The rest is commentary. Go and learn it." Similarly, the Buddha is often said to have distilled the essence of his own teachings into a simple statement that goes something like, "All I teach is suffering and relief from suffering." While there is a form of truth in that summary, of course, it doesn't capture the whole of Buddhist teaching any more than the whole of the Torah is encompassed in all its richness by Rabbi Hillel's response, as penetrating as it was. Still, this apparent misinterpretation of a couple of lines in the Pali Canon reflects an invitation to Buddhist practice that is transformational for many people, including me. The understanding of suffering as a human response to pain, and not pain itself, has been revelatory to me. I have come to understand that the burden of suffering turns out to be of my own making. Like a heavy net, I've trained myself to spend a lot of time creating, wearing, repairing, and extravagantly ornamenting. A steady Zen practice encouraged by teachers and Sangha has helped me take up self-awareness regularly too. I notice more often now that I'm tangling myself. This helps me throw off the net of suffering and choose more regularly to take up confidence and acceptance of myself and what is. Zen practice helps me choose more often to trust my own experience and to build on clarity and equanimity instead of suffering. For me, the richness of Zen is in its simple practice, that of simply agreeing to breathe in and be breathed by the direct experience of life. Zen calls and challenges me to take up a robust practice of my own life. I find that the path of Zen is marked by the light of wholeness, boundlessness, not separateness, and just here-ness. These gateless gates open with empathy, gratitude, and compassion for self and all things. Zen doesn't demand my perfection, only my recognition that there is perfection in each moment in which I find myself awakening. Zen is an offering of continual lessons about the nature of self, the human condition, timelessness, and the ineffable. These lessons are always available, but they are not graspable through the thinking mind. It is possible to get a feel for Zen by reading books by the great teachers, by engaging it intellectually, but there are countless ways to trip up if you try to think your way through it. Instead, I encourage you to find Zen through your body and the world around you. I recommend you find a group to sit with, develop your concentration, follow your breath, give yourself up and over to it, and discover the self before you begin cultivating such a carefully constructed image of yourself. Zen is the practice of coming to a place of not needing to know or being the one who knows. Zen is an invitation to a place of no suffering, nothing to attain, no hindrance, and therefore no fear. Zen offers much to learn and much to unlearn. It isn't exactly true that all the Buddha taught is suffering and the relief of suffering. but it's a fine place to start.